Edua. Okay, we are live. Okay, guys, if you're seeing this, we are now in the session of how to create an effective social media plan by Erica Rotica. You didn't pronounce wrongly, right? Right, Erica? Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes,
Hi.
hi.
Yeah, okay. Let me do a quick introduction. She's the CEO of Eric
ICA.
ICA Swimwear in Philippines, advocate of entrepreneurship of women empowerment, speaks business, marketing, and productivity, YouTube content creator. Okay, I don't want to hop the limelight. Let her do all the talking. Erica?
Yes.
Yes, you're up.
Oh, okay. All right. So hi everyone. So I am Erica Rodica, and today I'll be teaching you guys how to create an effective social media plan. So a lot of people nowadays are online, and so is your audience. So I think it's really the best time for you to learn more about planning your brand social media content and to get your audience to learn about your brand and eventually purchase from you. Okay, so today these are what you should expect. So we will define your brand, identify your audience, create and schedule content, and I'll also be giving you tips on social media planning. Okay, so first off, this is Aka on Instagram and on Facebook. So we started 2014 April, and we've gained quite a following since. So here are the social media platforms that we perform in on Instagram, on Facebook, and these are also the UGC user generated content sent to us by our readers. Our audience, sorry. So we pioneered in the mix and match trend here in the Philippines back in 2014, and we've been a strong and consistent swimwear brand ever since. So Ika Swimwear is all about summer. So our customers like taking photos and creating Instagram posts, and they wouldn't want to be seen twice in their swimsuits, which is why we offer a wide variety of swimwear and resort wear with fun classics and even trendy designs that would make them look and feel great. So this one is my personal brand, which I just started last year, April 2020, at the height of the pandemic. So I've gained quite a following since, and most of our audience are people who aspire to start a business or those with small businesses in place. So I am an advocate of entrepreneurship, and I really encourage my audience to start their own business by sharing my tips, my how-tos, and of course, my personal experience and failures, which is really what happens in the real world. So when I started doing this intentionally, planning and creating more meaningful posts on social media, it showed people my expertise, which unexpectedly created earning opportunities for me through marketing consultations, speaking engagements, and brand collaborations. So these are my Facebook and YouTube page. Okay, so let's get on with it. So number one of the steps to create a social media plan is to evaluate your social presence. So before we dive into planning, you have to check where you're currently at. So assess and ask yourself these questions. What social media channels are you on? How engaged are your followers? Are they driving valuable traffic to your website? What are competitors doing? And what are the opportunities for growth? So when you have all those answered in mind, choose 2 to 3 social media platforms and stick to it, because anything beyond this might become too overwhelming for you, especially if you're a beginner or you're doing this just by yourself. So each channel has their own audience behavior and has their own pros and cons. So don't spread yourself too thin and just focus on bringing quality content for these channels Except, of course, if you have an entire marketing team already, then by all means, explore the most channels that you can. Next, number 2, so define your brand. Everything you are, everything you say, everything you do represents your brand. So everything that you put out there is your brand, which is why it's important to know who your brand is. And your brand composition comprises of these 3. So this is just a quick recap of branding in a nutshell. So your vision. So these are the ideas behind your brand. It gives you a clear direction to your business. This should answer the question of what do you want your brand to be? So your values, your purpose, your future, it should be defined there. Then your voice. So how a brand conveys its personality, and it keeps all marketing communications consistent. So it is what you say and how you say it. So this gives your brand a personality, and this is your voice is how you talk directly to the consumer. So it's important to create a connection and a relationship with your audience, and your brand voice is a way to humanize it. So is your brand funny? Is it serious, friendly, authoritative, fun? Whatever it is, that's your voice. And then next is your visuals, the images, the logos, photos, designs that you use to promote your business. So everything you put out there that your audience sees, the logos, colors, fonts, design, all of it is included in your brand visual, and it creates consistency and brand awareness for the consumer. So these are just the basics of branding. I'm not gonna dissect further. And I believe Gerald will be giving a talk about personal branding later. So you guys should stay tuned for that. Okay, next. So this post is a really memorable one for me because my personal brand is dedicated to sharing what I know about entrepreneurship and to encourage others as well. So as you can see, my caption here is very light and relatable. I don't put technical words so much because that's not me. And my photo is also very minimal, very bright, very cheerful. And with this post, people responded to it very well. It can't be seen here, but the likes are around 4,000 plus. And yes, it's organic, and it has comments, it has shares, and these comments and shares just shows that the audience were inspired. Like it says here, I'm so inspired, yes I can. And there's a comment there, my first love is to have a clothing line and I believe I can do it. And that's exactly what I want them to feel, to be inspired, because if I can do it, so can they. Next. So once you've defined your brand, once you know which social media platforms to use, you must know your audience. So know what your customers want most and what your company does best, and focus on where those two meet. So it's very important to know who your audience is, because they will be your guide in creating valuable content based on what you offer. So it helps you create content and messaging that they want to see from you. So like in my example earlier, my audience are small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs. So the post really resonated with them. So how do you identify your audience? So this is just a simple guide to start you off. So it states the age, location, job title, income, pain points, and most used social networks. So try to think of your ideal customer and write all of these down. It's best to be specific, and you can even create a story around this person. So this is just a basic template. Feel free to add more to this. So to apply this to my swimwear brand, at Aka Swimwear, Pre-pandemic, our audience are the mid-20s women working corporate jobs who loves going away on the weekends. They're so busy throughout the weekdays that they don't have much time to shop, which is actually one of their pain points. So here we come and offer them convenient online shopping for their weekend vacation. And these women also, of course, like to look pretty and confident. So we create content around that so that when they see these posts that would make them feel that, they would say, oh, I want to look like that. Next, set your goals. So once you have all those, it's time to set your goals, because a goal without a plan is just a wish. Because how will you know what you're planning for if you don't have an ending or a goal? So set that goal. That's very, very important. So you set SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. I'm not gonna deep dive into this, but these are very explanatory. So set your goals, whatever it is that you want to achieve for your social media plan. So these are examples of goals. So if, for example, our goal is to engage our customers, then what post will that constitute? Maybe a question or a quote, a meme, or whatever thought-provoking post you can think of. So other goals are awareness, conversion, and community. So these are just general examples. But these are actually incomplete, if you guys notice, because they're not measurable, they're not specific, they're not time-bound, because that's where you come in and set whatever those are. So these are just the base, and feel free to play around them. So if you want more conversions that would drive leads and sales, and your metrics would be like the purchases, the website clicks, email signups, those numbers. And if you want to see more from your community to improve customer retention, that's where you'd like to see how many testimonials or feedbacks you get from your customers. Okay, next, 5, create the content. So most people think that when planning your social media calendar, you immediately create content. Definitely not. That's not the first step, guys. It's only the 5th step. So once you're able to do the first 4 steps, then we move on to creating the actual content. Your content should be valuable to your audience. Remember this, your content should be a gift. Okay, it's something you give without expecting anything in return. So your audience will enjoy and engage in your content more if you give them value without any strings attached. So apply the 80-20 rule here, where 80% of your content should comprise of entertaining, inspiring, informational content to your customers. And the other 20% is where you can sell your product or service. With this formula, if you focus on the 80% and you build the trust there, then you'll get the sales from your 20% content. Next, what are examples of meaningful content? So these are images, can be videos, blog posts, ebooks, podcasts, webinars, infographics, templates, and checklists. And there's a whole lot more. So these are just the basics. Here at Aka Swimwear, these are some of the examples of the Instagram content that we are making. So since it's the lockdown here in the Philippines, if you guys can see on the second photo, we drew on the background of the catalog model photos with sceneries of vacation places here in the country. And then for this specific post, we highlighted Cebu because you can't go out, you're stuck at home, but we would still want to inspire them to wear their swimsuits once the lockdowns are done. So in this way, they'd be able to see or imagine how they'd be able to incorporate our products in these vacation spots. And we also include our customer submissions, flat lay of our products, our charitable campaigns, and even a lookbook guide, which our audience can easily apply. If you notice also on the last post, we have one that we created for the Mother's Day campaign because, our audience, usually the moms don't buy it so much, the older moms, but our audience have moms, right? So this one resonated with them definitely. Okay, next. These are some tips that I can share with you. Brainstorm with your team. So I learned this later on because I used to always just do all the planning and all the thinking. But then when I had my team, I brainstormed with them and they actually had a lot of great ideas. So if you don't have your team yet, bring together a couple of friends or even your family just to see if they have any ideas. Next is create your content in batches. So what do I mean? So schedule a day for planning, schedule another day for creating all the images and writing captions, scheduling posts, and so on. Segment all the things that you need, batch them together on the same type that you're gonna do. Because when you do this, you're already in your creative zone. So this allows you to focus your creative energy without jumping from task to task. It also maximizes your productivity. Next is to get inspiration everywhere. So even when you're taking a break, you can still get inspiration. So if maybe you're eating out at the restaurant and you saw something nice, or you saw the nice interiors of the restaurant, take a snapshot of it and save it for later use. Then go back to enjoying your meal. Or if you're reading a book and you came across a nice quote, write it down, save it. Or even when you're scrolling on Instagram and you see a nice post that you want to recreate, save it so that you can refer back to it later. Don't copy. That's not my tip. My tip is to recreate it, not copy it word for word or the exact same thing. Next, these are just 7 steps, by the way, so we're almost done. 6 is to create your social media calendar. So once you've created all the content that you want to publish, plot them out in your calendar so that you would know when everything needs to be posted, what happens on certain dates. This way you can map out the entire week or even the entire month. This is a loose and basic example of a social media calendar. So I usually include the photo and caption, but it won't fit the slide, so just bear with me here. So if you notice, okay, let me run you through this one. So for example, on Tuesday, I have a video set to be released on YouTube. So prior to that, I'll make sure to have a teaser of that video on Facebook on Monday, and also an announcement on Instagram that I'll be launching that video on that same day. So I also do this, like for example, on Saturday, I post an inspirational quote, but the Sunday before that, I post it on Instagram. So if you notice, I post the same content on different days on different platforms. This is so that we can maximize the attention that a certain content can get. So with this setup, it gives us roughly around 2 days for a certain content to gain mileage across like 3 platforms. Next, utilize social media management tools. So one of the benefits of social media nowadays is that you don't have to post it on the exact same day that you need to. You can, again, with batching, set aside 1 day to batch schedule your content to be posted on their respective social media channels. So some tools I use are Facebook Creator Studio and Planoly. So I use Planoly for Instagram specifically because I like that it has a feature that when you upload the photo, you can rearrange it on the app to see how it looks exactly on your grid. In that way, you'd be able to see if it matches your current theme or if you need to edit it out. Okay, last one. We're almost there, guys. Track, analyze, and optimize. So once you're done with everything, with all of the 6 steps, now we analyze. So we do this in order to know if the content we put out is effective. Also, it's the only way to know if our goals are reached. Some metrics to measure are conversion rate, time spent on the website, reach, how many people have seen it, brand mentions, how many people responded to you or reposted, sentiment, and social shares. You can easily grab these on the analytics page of your social media account. Trial and error, guys. A tip for you, which will inevitably happen. So it's a constant work in progress that changes when necessary because nobody gets it on the first try. So just go ahead, keep posting and trying out different things. As you keep on posting and evaluating, you'll eventually see a pattern. Then you'll see which content works for your brand and your audience. So that for the content that works, dissect that content, analyze why it worked, and then do more of that. Remember, people don't buy goods and services, they buy relations, stories, and magic, according to Seth Godin. So just merely posting your products plainly doesn't work anymore. It doesn't mean your products are all laid out and you get sales immediately. No. People nowadays really want to feel connected. So they want to know the story behind the brand. They want to know more about you and more about the brand. So through the content that you make, be sure to tell a story. Don't be afraid to show behind the scenes, even if you're just starting out. That's totally fine. And people would want to know about your journey and eventually your product. And then at the same time, you might be able to inspire them as well. So that's it. I hope you guys learned something. And I have an assignment for you guys. If you want to do it, I want you to make a social media plan and calendar. I know you guys have to go through all the steps, but if you do, it's going to be so worth it. And if you do it, you can message me if you want me to check and I'll give my 2 cents. So let's stay connected. I'm on Facebook, Instagram on the screen, and my email is also the one on the screen.
Okay. So Erica, if you can see on the screen, we got 2 eager audience actually asked 2 questions. I start with the simple one first. Jeremy Chen, he's asking,
can I stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, then you can.
So that I can see them.
Yeah. So the last question was, what was the tool that was called just again? So I believe you just mentioned Facebook Creator Studio. Is there another tool that you mentioned?
Sorry?
You mentioned another tool? Is there another tool that you use?
The other one is Planoly.
Can you spell that out?
Planoly.
Planoly. Okay, let me try to answer him here.
So they have a free trial if you guys want to try it out and if it's for you. There's another tool called Later, but for those starting out and when I want a cheaper version of it, there's Planoly.
That was Later I used before. Let me reply to Jeremy on that via the Facebook. And the other questions on our screen here is actually this Sandro. She said, "Hi Erica, thanks for the presentation. Just wondered how many posts do you do a day? Can posting too much drive customers away? Well, it rhymes.
On Aka Swimwear, we post once a day. It actually, on my personal brand, I post only three to four maximum a week because I don't want them to always see my face because my personal brand always mostly has my face. But then, of course, it will still depend on your brand because some people would want to see more of you. Like I see some Instagram accounts with just quotes and they post 3 times a day and they can get away with it because people still engage with them. So it really also depends. You have to assess which works for you. But I think for my brand, for my swimwear brand, once a day it's okay.
Unless you are Gary V, keep posting. And you must keep it up. As in, people do expect, say example, you always post in 12 noon. People do expect a post will come to you. If you don't post on that day, some of the followers will come and ask you what happened. Are you sick or something? So you must keep it consistent.
Yeah.
You must keep it consistent. So
thanks for pointing that out. That's good.
Hope that answer this Sandra's questions. Okay, just to come back to Ronaldo actually has asking one question. What's the best social media calendar? I don't think there is an answer for that. Is there?
The social media calendar we use actually is Google Sheets.
Oh.
So yeah. So if you want, do you want me to pull it up? I can pull it up just to see. I can show you a sample. Hold on. I will share my.
While she's pulling up, last time I used to use Hootsuite and Later, and even Buffer also before. I do a bit of organic posting also, but I believe Buffer and Hootsuite doesn't even have, only have 7-day free trials now. They don't even have one account. So now I'm playing around. I think I come across Integromat also can actually schedule social media posting. That's because Integromat, I use it for Facebook lead gen form to pull it out. I'm still exploring. If I found out it works, then I will share with us. So do come in with, if you have more questions, please put it inside the comments part. I will try to read it out because there's after that this will close and we will move on to the next session. Hope you all have learned something new today. Thanks for Jean for helping me to type in, and also Trisha also. Thank you. Yeah, calendar is very important. Calendar is very important, and I admit sometimes I'm a bit lazy also. I didn't update the calendar. That was a no. Yep.
Can you see this one?
No, you need to share the screen. Are you able to share the screen? Oh no, sorry, you can't share. So sorry, guys, because this is Jason's account, so we can't share. Maybe next time we will share. We will invite Erica next time to our show in Team Marketeers at Wednesday, 10 p.m. Singapore, Malaysia time. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions? If not, we will end this session. Okay, once again, Erica, thanks for coming to the show. Okay, I really appreciate for your sharing session. Okay, if that's it, then we will leave the studio and move on to the next segment. Ready? Okay, see you all. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.